welcome to Pocket Watch Podcast. I'm Zach
Cruz.
And Samantha Vigneau.
Hey! We got another guest for you guys, like always.
And it's different, not like always.
No, this is not our studio.
You see this switch up with the guest, and then you
feminine energy here.
Yeah,
I like it though. I don't know if they can see the pink behind Cruz. Is that pink or purple? But
I hope you have that. Yeah, the whole episode, hot pink in the back.
Yes, that's fine. That's perfect.
It's kind of like shining off the right side of the face. I like it.
New guest switch up, new studio switch up. Shout out to Hi Hello Labs. That's where we're recording right now. We just did an episode with Samantha on Single Status Podcast. Whether it's before or after this, check it out. Follow us, check us out so you'll know. Follow her, check her out so you'll know. But this has been a good experience. This has been super fun. This is high quality, and we're like on a vacation episode right
This
now.
is actually the second time we've been here too. The first time we were here, we did Elizabeth's episode.
Yeah.
We were on her episode, and then it's actually us coming to this studio is actually what made us change our whole studio too.
Yeah, we were like,
we came here, we're like, okay,
step it up.
Back to the drawing board. We're getting a couch.
We're losers.
We're getting some lights, and so we kind of changed things up because of the studio.
That's
and
true.
Now we're back
so now
here again.
Look at the inspiration if you didn't check out Elizabeth's episode.
You guys have a nice setup though, wherever you have it.
I mean, it
Your
works.
house?
It definitely works. It's not the same as Hi Hello Labs, but it works and it's nice. It's our little home or whatever.
It definitely feels different not having like my little soundboard off of your
I know. I wanted the whole like applause, or you guys have like
yeah
or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, we have an intro. It's fine. We still have our intro.
Yeah, we have like a little video we recently got done by somebody, and we'll just throw that in the beginning of
Shout
it.
out to
I might put the little sound in the beginning and fade it out.
I need a pump up like that on my podcast.
Hey, our boy
There's
John
pros and
Lorenzo,
cons.
he did it for us.
There's pros and cons. There's also like, the sooner you get into something, like that's something we do. Like you just notice how we just bullshitted for the first 3 minutes. You know what I mean? Like there's something about getting into it, but then there's something about those that are a part of the family, like the Pocket Watch Pod, that kind of need that beginning or whatever. And that's what we're doing it for. Yeah. But anyways, we got Samantha here.
I'm here,
from
guys.
Single Status Pod. We need that feminine energy. We need your perspective. It's not even the female perspective. We need your perspective on some of these things that we want to talk about.
Yes. I'd love to talk about it.
So what are we going to talk about? No, I'm just playing. Okay, so you're Samantha. You're from, you're from Michigan?
Yes.
Right? In the Michigan area. You got a good job, you got a corporate life or whatever. You had a long-term relationship in your 20s.
Yep.
You are now 30, 31.
Yep.
31. I am interested in asking, because now you're doing the single life, so much so that you have the Single Status Podcast.
Yeah.
Right? And I am interested in what do you think is the difference between dating in your, let's just say mid-20s, because we're mid-20s, versus right now? Because I kind of have an opinion on that as well.
Yeah. I think your 20s is all about learning who you are. In my 20s, I was in a really serious relationship with a man that I thought I was going to marry. But at that time, it was also me like figuring out like who I am as a person, and you're still like growing up a lot, you know? And even I look back in business where I was so young. I started in corporate America at like 20 years old, and the things that I was like doing and saying, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so embarrassing. But it's all like a growth process.
Yeah.
So I think your 20s is all about, for me, it was all about learning and growing. And I'm someone that is really into like self-reflection and personal growth. So I really was like seeking like who I was as a person and everything. So I think as far as dating, your question, it was all about like when you do fall for someone, it's all like the chemistry and the like mad type of love where you're just, so infatuated with each other right away and you just fall so quickly, and it's all like the hormones and the chemistry, like. But I think dating at 30, 31, I've kind of done that, and I know who I am as a person, and I know like my strengths and weaknesses and stuff like that, especially when it comes to like men and dating. And I'm like, okay, I'm actually looking for someone that is going to be good for me, and I'm going to be good for him. and I don't want to be like deceived by like initial attraction and chemistry, because I think falling in love, like there's all these like hormones and chemistry like flying around that I really try to like really date like smarter, I guess, at this age. Like, and a lot of guys are on the same page with that too. When you're dating in your 30s, it's like you know what you're looking for because you know who you are. You're confident in who you are.
Right.
So that's like the biggest difference, I would say.
Yeah, like I've noticed some of my friends, like I got a couple of friends that are like 29 and they're recently single and they're dating and stuff. So, and they take kind of the same approach, right? But that's a good way of putting it, where it's like, I'm just going to do what's good for me kind of thing. But also, I think it's also like a different pressure. Like, do you date for fun at all at this point? Or is it very like calculated?
So, okay, I try to have fun with like getting to know different people, and I try to not take it too seriously, because it should be a fun time. Like, it should be fun getting to know guys as friends and getting to know if you're like attracted to them or you could see this going somewhere. So I try to have fun that way, but I'm not going to waste my time with anyone at this point in my life. Like, I'm not going to continue hanging out with you if I know it's not going anywhere. I'm not going to like mess around and like date a guy for years at this point in my life. Like, I know one day I want marriage and kids. So like, and again, like guys dating at this age too are typically on the same page with that. So it's like, you know, the first few dates, it's like, you know, if they want like marriage and kids, you know, if they want a commitment or they're just like fooling around. So, you know, I'm not gonna like sit here and hang out with someone that's like not looking for a committed relationship. Yeah. You know?
So if like you're dating a guy and you could tell that he's just trying to fool around a little bit, right? Like have some fun versus like a long-term relationship, you'd be like, all right, like, do you ever like kind of say, all right, I'll fool around with him, but then like I'm going to keep my perspectives open or do you just kind of say like, nah, been there, done that in my 20s or whatever the case is?
It's been there, done that in my 20s, and I'm not doing that anymore, but I will continue being friends with the guy to see if if a spark can form, because I think a lot of times you can build friendships and then sometimes like build attraction. But no, I'm at a point in my life where I'm not into like hookup culture or like any of that. Like I did, in college I was like wild, but like I'm at a point where I'm like not doing that anymore.
What did you go to school for?
Business. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, that's interesting. It's because like one thing I was thinking about too was I've noticed like in my company recently too, like you always hear about it, right? But you never really like understand it until you see it, just like anything or whatever. But like maternity leave and stuff, and like how much of a toll that takes on a woman, like period. And then like, you know, America is America. It is what it is. You love it for some reasons, you hate it for others. But like that capitalistic nature doesn't really lend itself well to like that struggle for a woman. Like we have FMLA and stuff where it's like you're promised your job, but like you're not promised like your pay. You're not promised like certain things like that. You seem very business oriented, motivated, corporate life or whatever. You said you plan on having children and stuff like that. Have you ever thought about like that balance of like career versus motherhood kind of thing or whatever? Have you thought about that? Like,
for sure. And you know, like if you watch my podcast, I really did struggle in my 20s, like, because women are kind of trained to think like you get married like in your early 20s, you've had kids by the time you're 30. And so when that timeline like doesn't happen, it can be like really hard for women because we feel a lot of that pressure. But you know, I've like worked through a lot of that and like really surrendered, like, okay, like this is my life and I'm just going to enjoy the present moment, you know? But when it comes to career, I'm really big on like I'm gonna work really hard to make a lot of money now, like if I can, and like save for retirement. Like I bought a house at 28. Like I believe that home ownership is how we build wealth a lot of times, and a lot of people don't look at it like that, but it helps you build wealth. So I'm like, everything I'm doing now, I'm investing for my future family.
I saw some post. Santi posted something where some guy was saying buying a house is the worst investment you could ever make.
That's BS.
That was
I was like, I can't even think of a reason why
forgot
that's
his
right.
name. That's not Gary V, but the other white
The deep voice dude or whatever.
Yeah. He always says it. You know what's funny? He says, "Oh, like I rent a home," but you know what he doesn't tell you is that he lives in a home and he rents a home from his company that bought that home.
Yeah, right. Like
the guy works in real estate, and what he does is long-term rentals.
I mean, I say that to say congratulations, like on being a homeowner and stuff like that. Like I think that's super cool, and that's something you're providing every time you meet somebody. Like as a woman, you know, like I don't know how many, and I haven't dated in my 30s, right? So it's like how many women do you date? But shit, still props, because I'm sure like some of the guys you're dating or whatever are probably used to a girl looking for a guy with a house. When then like you're kind of like, no, I got a house. You know what I mean? Do you think that ever gets in the way of like certain conversations or possible relationships or whatever? Like,
yeah, I mean,
you
I've
got too much, maybe. Like
for sure. Like I've really dated some really good guys that like really like you know, where I am in my life and everything, and it's usually guys that are like on the same page. Like they have a lot going for them. Like they have like a vision, you know, or like they're career oriented or whatever they're pursuing. Like those guys are usually like, yeah, like they're really kind of like impressed with where I am in life, or happy or supportive, you know. And then I have went on a date where I could tell that the guy didn't like that I owned my own house. And he was like really traditional and stuff. I think it was a cultural thing too, because even he believed in like living at home until you're married and stuff.
Was he Indian?
He was Chaldean.
Okay, what is that?
What is Chaldean?
Yeah.
It is
I'm sorry.
basically like Arabic Catholic.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
cool,
think
cool,
I'm
cool,
saying
cool.
that right. You might want to look that up.
We won't.
Someone, but
we don't do that.
yeah. Okay. But I think it was like a cultural thing. So he kind of didn't like that I still lived at home. But it's like, look, like my mom always taught me, and my parents, like home ownership is really how you build wealth, because when you invest in your home at a good time in the market,
Oh my god.
and your house value goes up, like then
Oh,
you
yeah.
can just roll that money into like a bigger house one day, or you have like equity in your house now. You're not throwing money out in rent. Like I'm a big proponent of that.
It's like
So-
I feel like it's the best investment. Like I don't think
Yeah.
I'll be a business owner or nothing like that, but like my like big strategy in life is to acquire real estate, because it's like if I could just do that and maintain that, it's like I know people that are retired not because they made millions, but because of those real estate transactions that they've made and whatever. And it's like,
if you let's say that you met a guy or whatever, and he knocked your socks off or whatever.
whoa.
And not like that.
Listen, that's what I'm hoping for.
Jeepers.
But let's just say you did, right? You guys are both homeowners. Who would give up the house?
Ooh.
See, I like my mindset with my house is like it is an investment and it's a space for me. Like I love my house. I love like having my own space. But I know like when I meet someone, we're gonna eventually have our own space. So it would be cool to like get a house together. But also if like I like his house, like then maybe I would be okay moving in there. I personally love my space so much, like just for me, that I would rather us get like a new house or me move in. So I can't imagine now someone moving in with me.
No,
In my
no,
It's like my sanctuary.
no, for sure.
A good little option to that too is you guys could always just move in, buy a house together, and then use your
Rent
properties
two
as
properties.
investment properties.
Exactly.
And then boom,
I
y'all
thought
already
about that
starting
too.
out.
Guys, fellas that are listening, Samantha's available. Like, you guys could rent two
DMs are
properties.
open.
Oh my gosh.
If you guys have a home.
If you're not a creep.
Yeah,
DMs
yeah.
are
You
open.
need a home. You can't be a creep. So that's like all of our listeners. Sorry, guys. No, I'm just playing. No, but are you were you an only child?
I have one older brother. He's about a year older than me. We're
He's
like
only a
Irish
year
twins.
older?
He's like a year and a half older than me.
So you had a brother
Yes.
your whole life. Okay. Because that's interesting. Because I am interested. Like, I grew up as an only child, and I had to get used to like sharing space with people, right?
Mhm.
Like when as I grew up, I had to get used to like, you know, having a roommate in college and stuff like that, and then like even when me and my girl moved in together, like I had to get used to like a different standard of clean.
Okay.
You know, whatever the case is.
He's got OCD.
Yeah, but I'm OCD, right? Like I always thought I was clean, but like most girls' standards of clean is different, you know, than like if I leave this here, it's not a problem for me as long as I know where it's at. But it's like if she walks in, it's like what the fuck is water bottles doing all over the place, you know?
Yeah.
But and that's a stupid example. I had to get used to like sharing space. Like I need my space. I need my me time. Like I need my I like to like play a game or like watch a movie by myself, or like I do need my me time. And I noticed like it's something I developed at a younger age or whatever. Did you kind of develop that after your breakup? When did you break up with your long-term relationship?
I was like when it officially, we were on and off a lot for like the last few years, but not like the last few years of our relationship. Yep. So we broke up officially when I was like 28 or 29, around there. But so I lived with him a little bit like in my early 20s, but then we like broke up and I moved out, and then I was like, okay, I'm not like moving in together until we get married. Like I don't want to keep going back and forth. But so I did live with him before, and it was fine. Like honestly, I don't mind like sharing a space with someone, but if I like obviously love the person, but at this point, like I don't want a roommate, but I did think about, I don't want to get too set in my ways. Like I don't want to get too comfortable being by myself and living by myself. Yeah. So honestly, part of the reason why I got a dog was because I was like, I need to be like, I want kids one day and I want marriage one day, and I don't want to get to like, I need everything my way. So I literally was like, I need to get a dog, and I bought a dog, and I love her, but it's like she, you know, I have to keep up with her, and she'll you know like bite the corners of my moldings, and she'll like mess up the house a little bit or like pee on the floor, and I have to. And it throws me off a little bit, but it's good because then I'm not getting too comfortable on my own.
Yeah, that's good.
That's a cool.
Some might say getting a dog is like you're leaning into being on your own.
That's why I
getting
didn't
a
get
cat.
Getting a cat.
I didn't get a cat because I didn't want to be the cat lady.
Don't call me a cat lady, motherfucker. It's a dog. No, I like that though. No, and I commend you for it because, like my girl, like I would have loved to see how she would have been if we never got together, because like she grew up in like a house full of people. She had two brothers, her parents, whatever, and then like we started dating like right at high school. So it's like it was always somebody like she used to tell me like, are you going home right now? Like I would go home and my mom would be out of town and my dad didn't live at the house or whatever, so it was just me and my mom. So like I was the only child and it was just my mom, and she was gone a lot. So like she would literally be like, are you going home right now? Like, are you just gonna like nobody? You're gonna say like hello and nobody's there? And I'm like, yeah, like it's amazing. You should try it. Like I used to love that, and she couldn't even understand it because she's used to like coming home and there's a dog jumping on her. Yeah. Mom's cooking in the kitchen, and the dad's like, hey, how is it going, sweetie? And then the brothers are like, get off of me or something. Like she needs that interaction. I would have loved to see how she like grew as a person without me. Like sometimes I think about that because I do commend girls like you know, like where you lived a life where you had connection. You had your brother and your family, and then you had your boyfriend for a long time, and then like to like switch that, you know, like Elizabeth, we talked about it where she forced herself to do like different hobbies and stuff that. And it takes work. I commend you guys for it. Like I think it's very interesting, you know, like because I'm trying to learn the opposite. Like I can't help but to do my own things and hobbies and stuff. Your alone time. But I gotta kind of like get like real into like the home stuff that I'm supposed to do or whatever the case is. But I don't know. It's pretty interesting. Like for example, I could never see my girl taking a trip by herself. Yeah. I don't see a lot of guys taking trips by themselves. I wanted to ask you about that. Like, how is that for you? Like, you came to Florida by yourself. Yeah. How is that? Like, was that a new thing? Did you always kind of do that, or like?
Honestly, yeah. I think it's been the past like few years where I've gotten really comfortable like with who I am as a person, and like not waiting on other people to do things I want to do.
Yes.
Like I'm sick of, like my 20s was all like I was waiting for marriage. I was waiting for like a guy to, you know, do certain things, or waiting for like a friend to be able to like go on a vacation that like I want to go to, but maybe they don't. And I'm just like, I'm done waiting.
That's
like
stupid.
I just want to live my life, and I just want to go. And then when you start doing it, you get so comfortable like doing those things on your own. Like now I really do love like coming to Florida and recording like on my own.
You get
like
your own
it.
journey.
Yeah, you get to like, even I went out to eat last night by myself because I'm here by myself.
Yeah.
And the server was like, "Are you waiting on anyone?" I'm like, "No, I'm just here by myself." He's like, "Okay, cool." But it was really nice to just sit in silence and eat food, and
Hell
you know,
yeah.
like
People think of that like the worst thing ever. Like, oh, everybody's looking at you. Like, you're all by yourself and stuff. Like, nobody cares.
no one
Like,
cares.
I've actually fell in love. I really enjoy because I usually take lunches by myself like throughout the week, and I usually go somewhere by myself and just eat lunch and just kind of come to myself. I usually just sometimes catch up on emails, sometimes just sit there. But I love just doing lunch by myself sometimes. That's kind of like me time.
And it's good to be able to hear your thoughts sometimes. Like I don't know about you guys, but I love at night when you just like, I don't know if you guys sleep with the TV on, but I don't like sleeping with the TV on because I like to be able to hear what's happening in my mind.
I used to have to sleep with the TV on.
That's because
Oh,
you were
really?
scared of the monsters.
Yeah. So then once I moved in with my girlfriend, and I knew the monsters couldn't get me as long as she was sleeping next to me.
Yeah, because she can't outrun
Are you
you.
scared of the dark?
She can't outrun you.
No, but like I
That is
used to have
joking.
to sleep with a TV on for that same reason. Like I like that white noise.
I used to.
She
sleep with
can't
TV
do
as a
it.
kid.
I had to get used to sleeping in like pitch black silence.
It's nice because things come up and you can like think.
Yeah,
things.
no, it's a good way of looking at it. Like it's the best time to build my anxiety.
Must be nice. I do the opposite. I tried turning my brain off.
Yeah.
Like,
And
I'm like,
that,
shh.
that's what I mean. Like you can also just center like, okay,
Yeah.
Yeah.
just be peaceful and just not think about anything.
Have you taken any like cool trips by yourself? Because we have a friend named Mario, and he's told me the best stories, like Puerto Rico trip, and he met this girl, and they started like doing these little trips or whatever, and I'm just like, huh. Have you taken any like crazy trips by yourself, or is it mainly like Florida with a purpose and stuff like that?
Right now, it's been Florida with a purpose, but I have been hearing about these people going to like Cancun and just like chilling all week, and so it is something that sounds really nice.
Yeah.
And I would be open to that. I'm just trying to like focus in and like save my money to do things that, you know, like this podcast and everything that I'm starting.
Yeah, for sure.
So, I think that would be nice though.
That's a
like, going
different
away for a
commitment, though.
weekend.
Nelson
Yeah.
the barber, he just started traveling a lot by himself.
I
And he
saw that.
He was telling me that he's like, bro, I'm loving it. He's like, sometimes it'd be cool to be travel with my boys for that. But he's like, it's cool to be able to go somewhere and explore on my own. Not have to worry about nobody else's comments or what they want to do. I can just go do my own thing and kind of do it all.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know how traveling completely by myself would be. I don't know.
I've
Like,
always
I
wanted
say
to
that
try it.
now like I'm trying to become a pilot. So now I'm like,
You will get used to it.
I'm gonna be traveling by my fucking self to a lot of places. So
I've considered like a job that made me travel, and I was almost excited about it because I was like, at this point in my life, like that would be fun because I don't have like a family per se or whatever, and I always like, I feel like I could go somewhere by myself and talk to somebody at the bar, and then just like, you know, like it could turn into like a journey or whatever at that case. I don't know. Like I've always gotten excited about that. But anyways, okay. Here's another one. We're going to switch the topics up a little bit. I just had in my marketing class, which feels like lately it's felt like a freaking like social media attack. Like here's everything wrong about social media or whatever, which is fine. I just don't like if you're teaching classes to like have a bias in any way or whatever. But he was talking about, he showed a video, and there was this this lady that was like an inside worker at Facebook. She did a 60 Minutes documentary like a year ago about how Facebook is known about how their algorithm promotes, you know, hate and stuff like that. And it was mainly like around like the Trump election time, like where they said like that boosted a lot of stuff, whatever the case is. But she was showing statistics that they have internally that showed like female eating disorders increase because of social media, and they were saying like they see these perfect people, and then it actually makes it worse, and it's like this cycle of like getting deeper into depression, like whether it's suicide or whatever the case is. And I was just interested on your take on it, because I was one of the people in the class that was just kind of like, hey, like, I think social media just brings awareness, right? So it takes a stronger mind. So like these companies, they push things in the algorithm that gets engagement. It's our fault as people that the things that are leaned towards hate get better engagement. Yeah. Like it is our fault. It's not their fault that they're a business and we're going to give you what you like. If you happen to like and comment to stuff that is actually hateful, like that's what you guys created. But on the other end, like, what was interesting to me was the female perspective on it is just like it's hurt the psyche a lot. Yeah. Social media and stuff. And I can see that because you got the filters, you got the Kardashians, you got like all those kind of things. And then we kind of talked about how like to approach it with your kids or whatever. But what do you feel about social media? How do you approach social media? Because we've kind of seen before and after, which is different. But like mainly like the Gen Z, right? Where it's just straight social media.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm 31, so Facebook just started being a thing, I think, when I was like a senior or something.
Right.
Or no, it was MySpace. We had MySpace. And then like college, it was Facebook.
Holy shit. So that, because you're only 4 years.
MySpace was when you were in high school?
Yeah.
Because she's only 4 years older than us. We were in middle school.
Because MySpace for me was elementary. I used
MySpace. I mean, it probably started then, but we were in middle school using MySpace.
I remember using MySpace in high school.
Yeah, because you're like 4 years old. That's funny because you kind of like lived.
I saw the progression of it.
Like Facebook was popping in college.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think Facebook started 2009, 2010, right?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways.
But I do think that there is a very dangerous side of it. For especially, you hear like teenage girls. I think it can lead to a lot of like psychological issues or like mental, emotional issues because it's comparison. Mm-hmm. Like you're comparing yourself to all these people and like you're caring about all these likes and you're seeing, all these filters of these people. And I make a lot of TikToks. So like I'll make a TikTok and I noticed that this person looked like so beautiful and they had this like filter on. Because when you have to go to make a TikTok, it like applies the same filter if you use the same like music and stuff. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this person literally like looks completely different. So yeah, I do think there's a lot of like danger in social media, and it's like lack of self-control when people, because we get addicted to it.
Yeah.
You're like wanting to be on it all the time. So actually before social, like before my podcast and all this, I wasn't really on social media at all.
Right.
I did think it wasn't good for like the mental, but I knew like I felt like really called to start a podcast and to like be like an encouraging voice on social media. So like I came on with a purpose, to hopefully like help and like encourage other people that like, are in their single season of life.
Put different content out there.
Right. Good. Put like good content out there that's helping people. But I think like anything, we just need to be able to, there's pros and cons. Like there's so much good with social media, with like businesses and like encouragement and like fashion, like whatever you're in, like you can find stuff on there. But there's like, it's all about self-control and not letting it get too out of hand. But I think for the kids, it's scary because they don't know yet. Like they're not mature enough yet. Like to understand that, yeah.
I think because like I feel like roughly our generation has the healthiest perspective on social media, right? Because we're not like,
we've seen it all.
We're not the old people that are like, hey, that's all fake. Because we're like, hey, like you can make money off of this.
Make money.
Stupid, But also we understand like likes and some of those things, or the fakeness on social media, we could kind of see it. Right. We've seen the progression. We can kind of disconnect differently. Gen Z or whatever the case is, like if you grew up in it and you never seen anything else, it is harder to separate that like real versus not real or whatever the case
and
is.
the things they have access to at such a young age, I think is scary. Like,
so like I think you need to approach, because it kept circling back to parenting, and I feel like you need to approach social media these days like sex, right? Like you could shun your kid from sex and not talk about it at all.
Yeah.
They're just going to get into that world and learn what they need to learn. And if it's like, if they fail, you know, like sometimes a fail is a pregnancy, whatever the case is, versus like telling them and giving them like examples and educating them on sex or whatever. So then when they go out, like if you think it's never going to happen, you don't educate them, then like you get to see what happens or whatever, versus like the other version. I think social media needs to be the same way. It's like, hey, look, you could do filters. These girls all have filters. Like this girl all has work. This girl looks like a frog with her lip job or whatever the case is. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not cute. You need to know just because she gets 1,000 likes or 10,000 likes, that doesn't make her better than you. Like that's a real thing that people go through.
There's predators on there for the kids.
Yeah.
There's a lot of predators on there. Like, I mean,
for sure.
We're not
like
parents, but like you have to watch like who's talking to your kids.
Yeah, like this is fake where like likes and stuff don't matter, but this is real where like if you keep posting on your story where you're at, somebody could pull up on you and like line you up a little bit. You know, like there's a weird balance to it. I don't know.
Yeah, it's self-awareness and definitely like good parenting. But yeah, our parents didn't know social media because we were the ones like starting it, and then it was like. So now we will know how to talk to our kids about it. I mean, it will probably be way different by the time like we have kids, but like, yeah, it is. It's a balance. It's all about balance and self-control and being aware that like don't believe everything you see.
Balance and podcasts.
I
love your accent. No, my family has your accent.
Do you know what I love more than anything? How she says tic tac.
TikTok.
TikTok?
Yeah, TikTok. TikTok.
You said TikTok earlier, and I was like, "That's awesome."
Really?
Michigan is Midwest, right?
No,
yes.
Yeah. Is it considered Midwest?
It's considered Midwest, but it's kind of East. I
Yeah.
don't know why it's considered.
I was
Midwest.
like, wait, no, it's yeah.
Yeah, it is kind of East. Like, do you say pop instead of soda?
We say pop.
Pop. Yeah.
What do you say?
We say soda. Give me a soda.
All right, Coke.
Anyways,
It's
everybody.
a pop, guys.
I know. My mom says pop.
It's only a pop. It's only a pop if you pop the top.
But you make fun of us for the same reasons. Okay, real quick. What was one of the best pickup lines you've heard from a guy?
Ooh.
Or attempts to like get into a relationship or something like that? Can you recall? Because I didn't give you any list. I suck. I realized
no, it's okay. I think the best way, I like it when guys just ask you out. Or literally just don't be creepy and just say, like, if you want to slip in the DMs, like, hey, how are you?
Yeah.
And then I just don't like, I guess if you're like dating apps and stuff like that, I don't like when guys try to get to know you like all through text and DMs and stuff and like talking all deep conversation and stuff. Like, I think
that's
it's
weird.
Really nice when a guy, if he like knows you're kind of like feeling him or whatever, just be like, hey, can we like get coffee?
Yeah.
Or like, can I call you? Can we talk on the phone? Like, get to know. I like when a man tries to get to know me authentically in person or over the phone or FaceTime.
Yeah.
Rather than texting.
Yeah.
And DMing.
Like, hey.
So it's not really a pickup line, but it's like, just be straight up.
Yeah. No, it's like, I can see that because it's kind of like, hey, I like you too. But then it's like, no, I want to keep doing this. Like, I want to stay here. And it's like, no, like, what are we doing? Like, this is kind of weird.
And you never know. The thing is, when you drag things out via text or DM for weeks or whatever, I mean, it's very common for people to do that. You meet in person finally, and you could totally not have any chemistry or attraction. That's happened to me before. Yeah, where it's like totally awkward when you finally meet them.
Yeah, I've had that before.
So it's like talk, like call people or ask them on dates. Like, guys need to ask girls on dates.
What's your favorite dating website that you partake beginning.
I'm actually not on dating apps right now. I just feel like I'm really kind of like social and like out there. I feel like I'll meet someone organically. I'm not saying I won't ever be on a dating app again, but right now I'm not. But when I was on, probably like Hinge or Bumble are the best ones.
Bumble, I was supposed to do a project on Bumble. I ended up having to do a project on Tinder because I had it related to advertising or whatever. But Bumble, fun fact, one of the founders of Tinder was a woman, and she kind of got boxed out because she was trying to change some things about Tinder that made it more female friendly and stuff like that. They kind of like boxed her out, pretty much bought her out of the company or whatever. She's the one that started Bumble. And Bumble is their biggest competitor right now.
They're probably the most successful dating app, I think. Bumble.
And their ratios, like you think about a dating website, like Tinder had like 70-something% male to female ratio, where Bumble had like 62 or something male to female ratio. And a lot of it is like some of the things they implemented with like, if you guys match, the girl has to make the first move, which is kind of weird. Like, I don't know if girls really like that, but it's more safe.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have like guys matching and saying some weird stuff. Like, you get to kind of like set the tone or whatever the case is. I don't know whatever else they do, but I thought that was pretty interesting as far as dating websites or whatever.
And I am more traditional when it comes to like, I want a man to like pursue me and like ask me on dates and stuff like that. So I didn't go on Bumble because of that. But then I actually tried it, and it's not really.
It's not like that nice
because you just say like if you match and like you're interested in a guy, you just say like, hey, how are you? And then from there you let him pursue you from there. Yeah. So, like, that's all you have to do is just say, hey.
Hello. Yeah. You know? Girls give guys shit on bad pickup lines, but you guys suck. I'm just playing.
No, I think it is on the responsibility of the girl. Like, we need to show men that we're interested in them. Yeah. And guys, it's your job to chase. Like, chase there. But it is our job to make sure, like, I'm interested, like, say I'm interested in you, you know. Yeah. Like, I really enjoy spending time with you and all that stuff. I think that's important.
I agree with that. Guys like to
chase.
Read
our mind.
Guys like to chase, and for some reason, guys get weird when the girl is chasing. I don't know what it is.
I didn't get weird. My girl actually asked me.
Zach is the fucking like when I say guys, I'm talking about averages. Zach is out of every average I've ever spoken about ever.
Yeah, I'm like the outlier.
This is like 5 times in 2 days.
So would she say you want to go on a date?
No. So like the initial date was with I did that, but like boyfriend and girlfriend. She actually asked that one. She's gonna hate that I said that in the podcast, but that's okay. I'll deal with that hate later.
Sorry, Melissa.
She's gonna hear it in like 8 weeks. So I have like 8 weeks to.
Sometimes guys need a little push though. Like
no, so that wasn't the case. Yeah, I had just got out of a horrible. What the heck is
kidding
that?
me?
I don't even know what that is.
So embarrassing.
I don't even know how that just randomly played. I don't even know what that is. That is so weird. It was like a song I never even heard before. Anyway, but what I was saying is I was like, what is going on? But so what happened is that I just got out of a horrible relationship, and I told her that like if she wanted a relationship and she was really serious, to go through that thought process and actually see what it's like to like that a man has to go through mentally. And she actually was super. Afterwards, she was like, that is crazy, like, the thought process that it takes to actually, like, ask somebody out. Like, to actually be the person to be like, hey, will you be my boyfriend, whatever? She goes, that process is, like, really, really deep versus, like, having a guy just come to you and you can be like, yes or no. It's, like, a lot more of, like, a process, you would say. But, yeah.
Okay. Last question, last topic. What would be and what has been your youngest person dating and oldest person dating since your single status?
Yeah, so actually, my ex-boyfriend was 12 years older than me.
Really?
Yeah, so...
And you were trying to get him to commit or whatever? That's kind of...
Yeah. So,
well, I don't know. I just assumed.
Yeah, for sure. But it was different, like, because I was so young when we started dating. But I think it got more of, like, I guess I was probably a little more mature for my age.
Yep.
But I never felt like he's like 12 years older. Like we just you know,
Girls
we
are
were friends
always
first,
more
and then
mature.
it was it was fine. But I think as we got older, it was kind of like, oh my gosh, when I'm 70, he's gonna be 82. When I'm 80, he's gonna be 92. We're not here, like,
Yep.
you know. So I always kind of had that in the back of my head. So yeah, I've dated older, and so now in my life, like, I actually would like someone more like my age, or I am open to dating younger.
Mm-hmm.
I've been on a date with a guy that was like 27, I think, and I was 30 at the time. So I've dated guys like a few years younger, and I just, it's all about maturity level, you know, like I would definitely date a guy like younger that just matches my maturity level.
Okay, what if he was 24, but he had a house, he had a good job, and he was out of a long-term relationship, like a high school sweetheart at like 23, so he's been single for a year, and the maturity level is there. Is that age too big of a gap for you? Like 24 or 23?
23 would be pushing it. I think I would like 25.
Isn't it weird?
I would be open to like 25 if he was like seriously had his stuff together, mature, emotionally mature, like
23, but like a CEO of like a big tech firm.
No, that's too much. That's too much.
I'm going for it.
Yeah, that's too much.
It really, yeah, it all depends on maturity levels in like where they are in life.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, maybe.
I just say that because I noticed like some of the girls I've talked to, like their range is a lot shorter, right? Like you guys will be willing to date older than a lot less younger, and then guys are like a lot more willing. You know, our range is like wider, and it's also because of our maturity level. It's low, you know, like it's different. But I don't know. That I was just interested to know. So 27 is probably like the youngest you dated or whatever. How did that go? Was he kind of immature?
It was only a date, and it didn't go anywhere. But like I said, like I would definitely be open to it if he was on the same page with that. Like again, I've dated a lot older than me, so age gaps like don't really worry me. Like I'm not one of those people like, oh, he's like a year younger than me or a year older than me. Like now it's like, oh, I'm 31 and he's 35. Like nice, we're like close in age because I'm so used to being, you know. So
except for the opposite though. I don't know. Girls are like that. Yeah.
I have like a different perspective now though. Like I used to be more like I want to date younger, but now I'm like very much more open to it.
Yeah, because it's like your options. You know, like when you think about it in the grand scheme, if you're trying to find happiness or whatever the case is, you know, like why limit your options for some stupid shit? Yeah, I wouldn't want to
cut a good guy out just because he's younger.
Yeah. Girls.
So. Well, what do guys like older women? I don't know.
The age matters, you know, like I don't know if
it really depends. I don't think I would date a girl that's 10 plus years older than me, to be honest.
That would be weird. Like I don't
do that. But
yeah, I wouldn't like that.
You know,
I don't think I could date, like if I was single right now, I think I would date a girl that was 23, 22. But I would also date a girl
I don't
like
know if I would go to 22,
35-ish, because I'm thinking about kids and stuff. So like I think like 35.
For me, I think like I would try to sit in a range of like 23 if like, but they would have to like really have their shit together and everything like that.
Not even that maturity for a guy. That's what
I would be like between like 25 and like I feel like 25 and maybe 32.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried the delusional female calculator? Have you ever tried that?
I saw you guys posting about that too, but no, I didn't see that.
You didn't see? You should do that and see what
you should do it and then do an episode about it because we didn't do it good enough. We just talked stupid about it.
Yeah, we did like a quick little 20-minute.
Oh, it's
episode.
like what guys want, like your height and all that.
Yeah, so like there's one for females, which is like the delusional female calculator, and there's one for men, which is like
the not delusional.
No, yeah, they didn't call it delusional, which is kind of fucked up. But it was called something else. But we went on there and we did like our numbers.
It is interesting to see like everything you want and what is the percentage of people that fits that.
Yeah,
and it's like you're gonna have a hard time.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyways, that's the episode. Thank you, Samantha, for letting us look. We're in Samantha's house right now. Yeah. We're at Hi Hello Labs, right? Like this was fun. This was like a guest podcast, our podcast. This was fun. Like those of you guys listening, we didn't even do the intro. Oh my God.
It's fine though.
Yeah, just make sure you like, follow, subscribe, whatever platform you're on. Thank you so much. Those that come and listen weekly. We love you guys. We wouldn't be doing this without you guys. I hope you enjoyed the new setting. It's pretty cool. I hope you enjoyed our guest, Samantha. This is awesome.
Thank you for having me. I had fun.
And as always, guys, in the description below, we'll have all of her information. So go ahead and check that out. Show her some love.
Zach
Go
don't
check
know
her
what
podcast.
camera to look at. He's like,
Yeah, that's funny. I don't know why, but my dumbass looked at the timer like an idiot. I'm talking to the timer right now, like, what's up? But the camera's right here. But yes, guys, definitely show her, give her some love. Go check her stuff out. She got some cool stuff, especially if you're into that whole girl talk or something like that.
high quality podcast. It's very high quality. It's well put together. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's definitely nice.
And she's awesome. You guys just heard it here, so check her out.
And we'll be on her podcast probably in a couple weeks after this one post, or maybe a couple months after this one post.
Yo, word. She's been working.
She's been putting some work in, guys. If you think we be dropping late, man, shoo-wee.
That is awesome.
She pumped out for the next 6 months right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks again. Pocket Watch out.
Pocket Watch out.